Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy. This is your teacher, Raghu, with you. In this session, we'll continue our discussion with respect to ethics, integrity, and aptitude in the most subjective, the most important topic, that is chapter number 1, ethics and human interference. My dear students, before I get into the lesson, I would request you to take an academy subscription, because if you take an Unacademy subscription, you'll be having access to structured courses. The structured courses are prepared by keeping in view of the course syllabus, previous year questions, and also these are prepared by the top educators. The structured courses will be in the form of live classes where you can get your doubt clarified, can engage the teacher. These live classes will be supplemented by live tests and quizzes where you can evaluate all the things, can evaluate where you are. These live tests and quizzes will be for unlimited access during the subscription period. My dear students, the starting point for getting the subscription is downloading the Unacademy app, which is freely available in Google and Apple Play. If you download the Unacademy Learners app, you will be getting many things for free. All the top educators, including me and many more, will be taking some classes known as special classes, which will be available for all. So when you download the Unacademy app, if they ask for a code, please enter the code Buddha10 so that you can interact with me and many more top educators on Unacademy. This is a brief about me. Having secured the top marks in 2015 and having mentored by the stalwart writer and teacher Lakshmikant, like I have written many books with the pen name of Buddha IAS. In fact, like I was very eager to see the 2020 ethics paper. I felt it was like a bit difficult. One of the main reason is, as per my observation, like if a student get 100 marks, nearly 60 mark he gets from case study. This time case studies were like okay, to a certain extent, like last case studies were answerable easily, but first two three case studies, they have put the reader in a different mood. In fact, by reading that, many were not able to comprehend. There were too much data in all these things. Somehow what they have done is, somehow they gave some para, and afterwards they have asked questions that you can answer generally. Yesterday somehow, like I was having very little time, but I am not satisfied with the question, like answering those things. In a few days I'll come up, like I have one responsibility of completing the ethics things, like before January 31. Like I have made a uh, thing, like I should complete before January 31st, so that students will be having enough time for with respect to budget, economic survey, all these things. Okay, having said that, at an academy, many top educators like me are teaching. Like for example, Brunal sir, Roman Saini, Aish Sangvi, many more top educators are teaching at an academy. As I told you, you will get many things for free if you download the app or through YouTube. Other than that, we have got two main subscriptions. One is Plus subscription and another is Iconic. Here we have come up with one more thing where we are combining both the general studies and also optional. That is a combo pack also we have introduced. In case of plus subscription, you'll be having structured schedule and unlimited practice sessions, test series, all these things. With my promo code Buddha10, you'll be getting 10% discount, and for 1 year, you'll be charged just 44,450 rupees. Similarly, in case of iconic subscription, if you take my promo code, you'll be getting 10% discount, my dear student. The same lines, optionals also, we are covering most of the options which you won't get in any institutions. There also, if you get my if you use my promo code, you'll be getting 10% discount. For 2 years, if you are taking, you will be charged just 1,500 per month, my dear student. We have started the new year with a new vigor, and we are giving the choice and variety needed for the students. We have started batches for 21, 22, and 23. Here we are giving choice, my dear students. Like, sir, you may ask me, like, what are the choices? The 6 years, 6 months batch we have for 21, 1 year batch we have, 2 years batch we have got like NCRT, we have NCRT batch. See, here itself you will get like four choices. Again, 4 into 3 will be having English batch, Hindi batch, bilingual batch. So, like, not only the thing, what you want, we are also giving that. In this regard, if you are thinking of joining, it has started just now, and you can join all the courses which are starting. And I request you to join from the beginning. You will be having a flow. And as I told you, we are having something known as combo pack where we'll be giving large amount of discount if you are taking both like GS part and the optional part. Here too you can have like plus and iconic things. Here also use my promo code to get maximum discount, my dear student. As you are aware, iconic prices are increasing. If you have not yet upgraded, my dear students, please upgrade. Especially if you are a like fresher, if you are not having any guidance, if you want to prepare from a remote area, if you are very serious, then strongly suggest you to go for iconic subscription before the price hike. So we are discussing ethics, integrity, and aptitude, where we have got 8 chapters. We are concentrating on chapter number 1. In that, in chapter number 1, as I told you, we have got 3 distinct areas. One is human actions, human values, and inculcation of values. These are the questions, my dear students. The main reason for me to keep this question is that whenever you get doubt or anything like that, you should refer. See, now, like yesterday, we had, like, if some of you have gone through, how many questions a student can answer if he goes through all the 37 topics. There are 37 topics if you go by like semicolon. If one goes through all this topic, how many questions a student can answer? Very few, my dear student. As I always said, so you have to go through the previous year question. I have told you, my dear students, make notes from previous year questions itself. This is a psych of UPSC question paper setter, the mindset of UPSC question paper setter. The previous year questions tell you what is there in the mind of UPSC. So please go through all these things religiously and give a deliberate thought on these things. As I told you, like it's proved again also in yesterday's paper, to get very good marks, you should have a very good comprehension, writing speed, and I'm confident. Like I predict, like the top scores will be around 140. I predict, according to my knowledge and the feedback I got from the students. Like in 2019, There were many students who got more than 2019, many students who got more than 160. This time I predict this. The major reason is case studies were very lengthy. They were a bit different. In fact, but one good thing about this case studies this time is he, like the UPSC stood to his words, like case study on above issues in the last chapter. So every case study almost has a different topic, definite topic which is given in the syllabus. Previously it was not like that. It was like a different kind. Here, say for example, like how to utilize the funds, the question has been asked. Ethics in international relations, ethics in funding, they have asked. So there were many questions which they have come from directly from the syllabus. Even in the, what is that, case studies. Okay. As I told you, ethics and human interference is one of the most subjective, very important, and a thing which is very difficult to comprehend. There are many things in this chapter which are which you won't find. Say I have referred like around like more than 20 books, more than 20 books. I want to tell like around 50 also, but like you may think, oh, he is boasting. No, I have referred many books. In all these things, I have not found even a single book which says what is this ethics and human interference. But I still appreciate the person who has set the question paper, the syllabus, has put in such a way that the topics, especially ethics and human interference, like nobody gets. But somehow now some teachers are trying to come up with their own explanation, like coming into and correlating with the things like man and machine interference. Can we come up with something like that? But I have not come across any authenticated literature which ethics which says what is the exact meaning of this. Somehow of late I have deciphered some things which I will be sharing like at the end of the class, and like I have consulted on one very senior professor. He told me that I will give a insight into these things. So why I told this is, you might have observed many books, they have not told anything about what does ethics and human interference. If they tell also, they tell their own interpretation, like it's just like me and you. Ethics is there, human is there, interference is there. Okay, we almost always hear like man machine interference, something like that maybe. So that is the thing they are giving. But I will give you a very authenticated explanation for these things. And as I told you, once again here, yes, no clarity. Determinants of ethics, no clarity. With respect to consequences, also there is no clarity. With respect to the ethics in private and public relations, also there is no clarity. These are like very subjectively dealt by many people. Like essence of ethics can be dealt in many ways. See, all my endeavors in the previous sessions is to tell what is the essence of ethics. There is some PDF which says what is it human actions. That is one source. And also there is one more PDF which says what is, like what are the like determinants of ethics. They actually, in fact, they speak about determinants of ethics in public administration. That has been like widely used. Consequences, again, there is no unanimity. Ethics in private and public relations, here also there is no literature. Simply they say, almost in most of the books they quote Nolan Commission's 7 principles of public life. But like to a greater extent, somehow if they are addressing the public relations, they are not addressing the private thing. And also here this talking about public life. keeping in view of a public servant or civil servant, not the public relations. Once again here, like role of family in inculcation of values, society and educational institutions, no real material available. These are all based on the interpretation of what the teacher is doing. So having said that, I hope like my students by now are in a position to tell me what is the essence of ethics in human actions. Very, you have to be very careful. Here they're asking with respect to human actions, my dear students, not the subject matter. Ethics, you have to go through the two dimensions, the essence of ethics. Here, till now, we have seen ethics as a practical thing in our day to day activities, how we are applying the things. Now, we'll see into the essence of ethics as a subject of study. This is clear? My dear students, you should not confuse this. If the examiner asks you what is the essence of ethics in human actions, you have to write this with little refinement. Today, what we are doing is like with respect to essence of ethics, more with respect to a subject of study, not exactly the ethics as a topic in action, what we follow in our society culture. Is this clear? But it is related. Scope of ethics. Sir, I have a question. Who is the Supreme Con? Okay, 1 minute. I have a question. Who is the Supreme Constitution or the people of India? Okay, very good question. Who is the Supreme? It is always people. It is always people. People have formed the Constitution. Is it clear? So don't keep any doubt with respect to those things. But for other things with respect to law, rules, regulations, and all the people are ruled by the constitution again. Is it clear, Laksh Singh? So, who is supreme? Constitution or people? It is always people in a democracy because we, the people of India, have solemnly given to ourselves this constitution. See, for example, you, Laksh Singh, you are creating something, a house, a constitution, or anything. Is the thing what you create is superior or you are superior? Constitution we have created to rule ourselves. This is clear. In fact, we are ruled by the constitution itself. But always people are superior in a democracy. Is this clear? Or do you have any counter argument, Laksh Singh, with respect to these things? Do you feel or did you get anywhere in someone saying that no, constitution is superior, not the people? Okay, good enough. So it's always people. But with respect to other things, we are ruled by law. What is that law? That law is constitution. Constitution is a supreme law. Supreme law, the basic law, the law of the land, the mother law, from which all everything emerges. What is constitution? Constitution is basically a law. It is supreme law. Why it is supreme law? It is given by the people directly. Okay, moving forward, scope of ethics and nature of ethics constitute the essence of ethics. What is the scope of ethics? What do you understand by scope? So we often hear the things like, oh, engineering has a lot of scope. If you do MBA, I think we have still larger scope. That is the reason even MBA people, like even the engineers that are doing MBA, we can become the CEO of Google with MBA. What do you understand by scope? What do you understand by nature? By nature, that person is like that. By nature, he is very ferocious. What do you understand by this? When it comes to ethics, scope of ethics refers to the range of its subject matter. That is, the particular subject which ethics deal with. Means scope of ethics deals with the range of the subject matter with which the subject deals. Whether ethics deals with some subject, object, or anything, or is it confined only to some limited things? Scope refers to the range of subject matter that is dealt by the ethics. Can you imagine and can you tell me anything where ethics is not applied? Anywhere where ethics is not applied? Okay, like let me come to you. Like you may say, physics. Don't you think ethics is there? Chemistry. There is a component of ethics. So scope of ethics is very broad. Ethics has a bearing in every discipline in both humanities and social sciences. Ethics has a bearing in every discipline in both humanities, like the other name like social sciences, and even in sciences. Humanities, social sciences means those are the things referring to human beings, society, science, the things like physics, chemistry, biology. It is impossible to imagine any discipline which has a systematic inquiry that it is not concerned with the ethics. It is impossible to imagine any discipline, a systematic inquiry that is not informed by the baseline of ethics, of respect, trustworthiness, honesty. These are present in all the things. Is it clear? Each person has reflected on the rightness. Each person who has reflected on the rightness or wrongness of the act or thought about justice, courage, mercy has engaged in ethics. So here see the scope of ethics is very broad. It includes like almost all the disciplines. Even say for example you take the case of history, you have got ethics involved there. Take the case of physics, you have got ethics involved in like how to use like atomic energy, environment science, in all the disciplines. If someone is thinking of anything like right and wrong, thinking about justice, something like that, then definitely they are talking about the ethics. The scope of ethics is broad and comprehensive. According to John Mackenzie, one of the great thinker, like whose thought have a broad bearing on the subject of ethics. So according to Mackenzie, the scope of ethics consists of the following three. See here, no need for you to like think these are different things. I'll make the things very simple. These are the words used by Mackenzie. It doesn't mean that you have to remember and reproduce in the same way. According to Mackenzie, the scope of ethics, the subject matter of ethics consists of the following divisions. That is, moral conscience. Like first, don't because students often reading this psychology of moral conscience, they get confused. Don't bother about this. Remember first, we'll dwell in detail. Moral conscience. It deals with moral conscience. Means ethics depends on the things we desire, we will, isn't it? We discussed in like human actions, knowledge, voluntary, freely done. If you don't have the knowledge, you cannot will voluntarily doing the things, freely doing the things. And also, ethics deals with moral life. Life means we have to take as a part of society, our culture, customs, traditions. So we have to look into these things. And ethics, as you know, is set of standards or principles. So it is talking about the moral standards, and these standards are applied. So ethics deals with the application part also. Is it clear? Okay. So first, just remember the keywords. The scope of ethics includes moral conscience, like it deals about moral life, it deals about moral standards, it deals about application of ethical standards. See here, my dear students, as I told you, don't get confused. Ethics is equal to morality. Until and unless they ask you to differentiate, please don't differentiate them. Individual, societal level, and some things are there. If you go in depth with respect to those things, you will get confused. Say, for example, in our next chapter, attitude, we have got like moral attitude and political attitude. So, like, they're like in a broad sense, you have to take. In many countries, they won't differentiate. Even some of the dictionaries, they won't differentiate. Even like ethics is different as study of moral philosophy. So, there is much difference. There is nothing much difference. Take them synonymously. And not only that, your UPSC and also your second ARC, they have used the term synonymously as like interchangeably, use them in the same way. Okay, coming back, it is dealing about the psychology of moral conscience, sociology of moral principles, the theories of moral standards, the applications of standards of moral life. Very easy to remember. Don't try to remember and don't try to confuse yourself. Moral conscience. Conscience means psychology. Psychology of moral things. Life means sociology with respect to society, culture, all these things. S- Standards means it is telling something like science, theories, and application of these things. That is the thing. So, like little elaboration of these things. Psychology of moral conscience. Here, why it deals with the moral conscience, psychology of moral conscience is that, as we have discussed, ethics analyzes the desire and will, isn't it? Ethics analyze the desire and the will, whether you have what is the your intention, whether you have done willfully or not. It gives the psychological explanation of the moral judgment because morality of a desire or will largely depends upon the psychological background, isn't it? So, since your desire and will have basis with respect to brain, with respect to psychological background, the scope of ethics includes the psychology of moral conscience. Ethics also keeps in view of the effect of the question of freedom of will upon the moral judgment. See, can you guess like where we are moving to? See here, we are talking about the desire, we are talking about the will, and also we are talking about the freedom. So what all these things? These are the things we have studied as the basic requirements for anything to be called as human actions. Human actions. My dear students, remember the same phrase given in the syllabus. Essence, determinants, and consequences of ethics in human actions. We are concerned about human actions. Human actions means actus humanus. Actus humanus. Just easy thing. That is why I am stressing this. If it would have been difficult, I would have not told you. Human humanus. Actus humanus. Actus hominis means involuntary. So here ethics deals with the voluntary actions of human beings. Since it is dealing about the voluntary thing, desire, will, freedom, all these are employed. There is a psychological thing which the ethics deals also. Moving forward, sociology of moral life. Social customs and traditions largely influence ethics. Hence, ethics deals with the effect of social customs and traditions. Didn't we study this? We discussed, say for example, with the Vema concept, we discussed like whether they are culture specific or universal. What are they? Are they culture specific or universal? The answer is both. Some things are universal because they're talking about humanity as the basis. We humans share something in common. Whatever may be the thing, our culture, traditions may be different, but there are some things which are intrinsic to humans. Like there is a thing in sociology and your psychology and even in anthropology, psychic unity of mankind. Psychic unity of mankind means, according to this, man, wherever you may be, if the situation, circumstance, all these things are similar, man will act in the same way. Are you getting me? According to this theory, like little away from the topic I am speaking, but it is pertinent to that. Psychic unity of mankind. Why I told this is, there are some values, there are some ethical standards, there are some moral things which are universal to all. At the same time, there are some things which are culture specific, which are social, which are dependent on the customs and traditions. The scope of ethics, so consider the sociology of the moral life because the things are dependent on the social customs, traditions, society, culture, all these things. Okay. Moving forward, theory of moral standards. As we have studied and we defined ethics as set of standards. When ethics is when we are relating ethics to standards, we are trying to make it more scientific. Means standard because something which is standard cannot vary from place, time, all these things. So here we have got a scientific touch to the human behavior, human actions. Here we are trying to generate some theories, the theories of moral standards. The major concern of ethics is to describe the ultimate good, is to describe the ultimate good or the nature of supreme ideal. Is it clear? So what is that we are doing? Here the essence of ethics is including the scope of ethics. In that we are discussing about that part according to McKenzie, where he says that ethics encompasses the theories of moral standards also. Moral standards are concerned with giving some ideals, some standards for reference. Any behavior is measured and declared good or bad, right or wrong by this moral standard, isn't it? Say, for example, stealing. Why we consider stealing as something bad? Why? Because our ethical standards say that this is bad, isn't it? Killing. Why? we are told by our society the ethical standards, and we have imbibed the things. I may be a very cruel person. Even then, I respect honesty. I respect if someone is honest, isn't it? So, here, ethics, what I meant to say is like ethics is concerned with respect to giving the moral standards. So, the theories of moral standards, application of standards of moral life. See, the standards will be applied to the things, say, for example, environmental ethics, business ethics, civil service ethics, medical ethics. This is about the practical aspect of the thing. In practical life, the direction of ethics depends upon the nature of the ultimate good, which is followed by some ethical doctrine. I repeat, this application of the standards of moral life is about the practical ethics, like business ethics, like environmental ethics, like ethics of medicine. In practical life, the direction of ethics depends upon the nature of ultimate good, which is followed by some ethical doctrine, isn't it? See, for example, you are a doctor. What is medical ethics for you? It is depend on the ethical doctrine of the medicine, accountant, and also civil servant. For example, impartiality. I'll give you the example for you. Okay. We have discussed the meaning of, okay, yes, yes. We have discussed the meaning of integrity. Integrity. What is integrity, students? Integrity means, ethics means standards, application of these standards in our day-to-day activity. Ethics in action is integrity. But when it comes to civil service, what is integrity? When it comes to civil service, what is integrity? According to second ARC, integrity for a civil servant is, what is the integrity for civil servant? Upholding the public interest. Why integrity for civil servant is upholding the public interest? Civil servant is a servant of the people. Is a servant of the people. So, what is ethics for civil servant? Is a servant of the people. Then, what is ethics for civil servant? Is to see that he uphold the public interest, isn't it? He abide by the things, and he fulfills the expectations of the people. How people expect a civil servant to be, that is his ethics. So, integrity in the context of civil service is upholding the public interest. Very good. Ethics in action. Okay. Because why ethics in action? Ethics means standards. When you apply it to your life, when you follow them, that leads to integrity. Are you getting me? That is in general. But when it comes to medicine, integrity has a something different thing, application part. Integrity is the same, general meaning will be same. But when it comes to civil service integrity, very important. I'm stressing this again. Integrity for a civil servant is, what is integrity for civil servant? Upholding public interest. Because he is a servant of people. So what is ethics for him? Following ethics is integrity. So what is ethics for civil servant? Following public interest, upholding public interest, maximizing public interest. Okay. Is this clear? Any doubt here? So mean to say that ethics is, the scope of ethics is very broad. So some of the things, see, let me take like this part of the board, left side upper thing. So it is very broad scope. Wherever someone uses something with respect to right, wrong, anything with respect to justice, fairness, then is talking about ethics. Almost all the discipline, maybe humanities, maybe social sciences, maybe your other sciences, all have some basis, something, some inclination with respect to ethics. So the scope of ethics is very broad. Nature of ethics. What is the nature of ethics? In this context, we have to understand one thing. Ethics is a normal science. Ethics is a normative science. Sorry. Ethics is a normative science. What is the difference normative science? What does normative science means? Is there what is the opposite or the other way, the other end for normative science? Is your natural science. Normative. What is normative? Normative means telling something good, right, ought to be. These are the good things. These are the ideals which you have to follow. Science is ethics is a science of ideals. Ideals. What does that mean? Science of ideals. Ideals means standards related to human life. So ethics is the science of standards. Ideals means these are the things which you have to follow, isn't it? You also follow someone. Then you what you say them? He is my ideal. For example, now Lakshya Singh want to get first rank. For him, who is the ideal? Pradeep Singh, isn't it? You want to become a very very good singer. Then who will be your ideal? Lata Mangeshkar. So, like that, ethics is a science of ideals related to human life. It deals with the good and bad qualities of the human behavior, comparing it with the ideal. So, here, ideals take that in a broad way standards. If you are fulfilling the standards, we somehow judge something as good or bad based on comparing to these things, isn't it? If say honesty is the ideal, if you are honest, then it's you are good. If you are not honest, you are bad. It differentiate good and bad, right and wrong, evil and virtue. Ethics is the science of human conduct. It's a science of human conduct, behavior. Is this clear? Any doubt with respect to these things? So it is a science. Then you should not stop here. Ethics is science means it becomes completely wrong. Ethics is a science of human conduct. See here, we are bringing an element of objectivity with respect to human conduct. Because why? If someone asks, like, how can you say that ethics is the science of human conduct? Because, sir, ethics is a normative science where it says some things are ideal, some things are standards. So, in science also, we have got like principles, laws, like that, we have also got standards. These standards are not with respect to nature, these are with respect to human beings. This is so, it is science of human conduct. Are you getting my point? Is this clear? So, in human conduct, it is saying we are come up with some laws, some ideals, some standards for human beings. So, it is a science. Is this clear? So, first we'll see ethics is a normal science. What do you understand by ethics is a normal science? And also we'll discuss like nature of normal science. Then when we say that ethics is the nature of ethics is it's a normal science, then we'll discuss the nature of normal science also, so that you will have idea of ethics. Excuse me. Okay, moving forward, nature of ethics in that we are discussing first subheading. Ethics is a normal science. Ethics is a science of human conduct. As we discussed, science can be generally classified into two groups. Here, no, like some people, like people from physics, astronomy, geology, they say, no, 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 yours is not at all a science. They somehow they make it as a humanities. Even some people in biology, physics, they don't like to call that as a social science also, because they say that it is humanities, it's not science. Okay, coming to the point, ethics is a science of human conduct. My question, I think by now you are clear with the thing why it is called science of human conduct. Well, I have explained this. Once again, I will brief you, because ethics is giving some standards, some principles, some ideals. These can be compared to your laws, theories, and phenomena of the astronomy, geology, all these things in their respective area. In our respective in ethics, we are concerned with human conduct. For this, we are giving these things. So it is like science. Okay. Science can be generally classified into two. One is natural science, or also known as positive science. Natural science. The examples are physics, biology, chemistry, geology, astronomy, so on. Ethics is normative science. Normative science seek a standard of value. So very important, in normative science we are concerned with value. To serve as the measure of what ought to be and the source of rules of its realization. So in normative science we are concerned with values. In natural science they are concerned with facts. So here we are concerned with values in ethics, that is in normative sciences. And to serve as the measure of what ought to be and the source of rules for realizing that. So we are concerned with the values in this direction. We are saying something that you have to do, ought to the things. And also we are coming up with some standards, rules to realize that. Okay. Normative science. What is the nature of normative science? Please understand here. In case of normative science, it deals with what ought to be, irrespective of whether it is ideal, whether the ideal is existing or not. See, in normative science, we are telling something. Say, for example, standards. What ought to be, irrespective of whether the ideal exists or not. Say, for example, if you take utilitarianism, deontology, if you take libertarianism, if you take contractualism, if you take virtuous ethics, we say some things that they have to be, ought to be statements, irrespective of whether the ideal exists or not. In fact, they say that in normative science and ethics, they are more concerned based on the reason, the logic, and things like that. So here it deals with what ought to be irrespective of their existence. But in our natural science, it is not that. If they exist only, we will consider, otherwise not. Present their results in ought to be judgment. You have to be like that. The virtuous ethics says that a person should have courage. So warrior, he has to be, should have courage. Shivaji Maharaj was a very courageous person. In situation X at time T, so Shivaji Maharaj did something. Means his action was this one. So if you want to be ethical, if you want to be called ethical in situation X and time T, you should also do the same things. Deontology says that you have to follow your duty. Like that, we have got our own standards in ethics. You say that, say Bentham says that highest happiness is a supreme ethical standard. Whether these are existing or not, irrespective of that, we are telling this. These are based on values, gives the guiding principles of life. These are normative science, give the guiding principles of life. They study value, ideals, and standards. The scope is comprehensive as the question of truth, goodness, beauty can arise in almost every act and about every subject, object. Isn't it? So, in case of your positive science, the scope is narrow because they are concerned. Physics means concerned with only that area, biology concerned with that area. In that, once again, botany, zoology, the scope is restricted. But the scope is with normative science is very comprehensive, very broad. Because if there is something comes with the question of truth, goodness, beauty, then it is a subject matter of normative science. Is it clear? So, like to get a better idea, you should know like the things with respect to the natural or the positive science also. Natural science describe the existing facts. They describe about the existing facts. What about our normative science? They describe about values, but remain wholly indifferent to their values. They're not at all concerned, indifferent. They're not concerned with values. They're concerned with facts. Natural science deals with what actually exists, formulates all the results in his judgments. In his judgments. Our normative science ought to be judgment, ought to be judgments. This is his judgments. And what actually exists is the thing we are speaking about in positive science. In normative science, we are not concerned with whether they exist or not, and these are factual. And our normative science is value based. Scope of natural science is comparatively limited. They study the mutual relation between facts in some particular field, isn't it? Why the scope is limited? Because they study the relation between the facts in some particular field. Say, for example, biology with respect to living things, living matter. Example, biology, astronomy, physics. So the scope is limited. Okay. Is this clear? So any doubt? Rajkumar, Jai, and others, Lakshya Singh, any doubt with respect to natural science and positive science? Do you have any doubt with respect to these things? In case of normative science, we are concerned with values. We are concerned with ideals, whether they exist or not. In case of positive sciences like astronomy, physics, geography, all these things, we are concerned with the facts, where they are not concerned with the value judgment. The scope with respect to normal science, normative science is vast, broad. Moving forward, under normative science, logic, ethics, and aesthetics are studied. Very important. Please internalize this one. So, in normative science, logic, ethics, and aesthetics are studied. They study truth. See, logic studies truth, ethics studies goodness, aesthetic studies beauty. Very important. Please internalize. So, logic, truth, ethics, goodness, rightness, aesthetics with respect to beauty. They determine the values of cognition. See, logic, truth, cognition, ethics, goodness, and conation. Conation means it is a thing with respect to inclination, craving, or something with respect to a purposive act. Beauty, aesthetics, and it is related to the feeling of man. Are you getting me? So, logic, truth, cognition. Here, ethics, goodness, and phonation, aesthetics with respect to beauty, feelings, all these things. So, logic is science of truth. Ethics is science of ultimate good. Aesthetic is science of values related to beauty. So just remember for your thing. So, logic is a science of truth. Ethics, it is dealing about good. Aesthetics means with respect to beauty. Okay, is this clear? So it is a normative science. Ethics is a normative science. Hope is very broad, and also the nature of ethic itself is concerned about the ultimate good. Is this clear? Okay. Determinants of ethics in human action. Then this you have to answer. What are the things which determine ethics? Anyone? Determinants of ethics in human action. What are the things which determine ethics in human action? Okay, let me ask you. Think that you are a judge. You have to answer these things. Think that you are a judge, or at least if not possible for you to answer like typing and listening the thing, at least in mental thing you have to have some judgment. See, whenever I say you have to answer, it doesn't mean that you have to answer me, because there are some limitations. One of the thing is, like by the time you're typing, like you may be lost. Okay, standard of life. Okay, determinants of ethics in human action. Lakshya Singh says the standard of life. Okay. Okay, now you answer me. Think it over. You are the judge now. In this thing, see, X has killed Y. What do you feel? Should we punish or not? X has killed Y. Have to punish. Say, what is the punishment you want to give? What punishment you want to give him? X has killed Y. Ram Kumar, what punishment you want to give? Okay, wait. Here is also one killing. In poverty, a mother kills her child because she don't want to see her child dying daily because of hunger. Here, this is also killing. You are a judge. What you will do? Like typing is difficult for you, not a problem. But you have to mentally, you have to judge the thing. I am giving sufficient time for you. Okay, according to law, this is a very safe thing. No, that is not the thing. You tell me you are a judge. So what you want to punish? What you want to give? Like say for example, one person has killed. Think that you are the law is also in your hand. You can make the laws. Okay, think it and the make the judgments in your mind itself at least. One has killed, X has killed Y. One case is with you. And there is another case. Mother has killed her own child. Mother says that I have killed because there is nothing to eat. Very acute poverty, like almost like my child, I can't see my child dying daily with hunger. My child cries for food, she cannot move, things like that. तो मुझे ये देखा नहीं गया इसलिए मैं that so I killed. That is a, but that is killing. See, there is another killing. There are some people who want to loot you. In that are some people they have come to kill you in the struggle or something like that, to save. Some of you got some gun, something like that, sword or anything like that, to save your life, to save your chastity. Someone has come to rape you, to chase your race, chase, to save your chastity. You have killed. Here, this is also killing. You are a judge. What you will do next? This is a real case which has happened. A man killed his neighbor who was throwing the garbage daily for almost many years. Like the neighbor was like the person who has killed his neighbor, like relatively a calm kind of person, but not like the person who was throwing the garbage was very powerful. So he was not listening. Almost like he used to throw garbage into his compound, near his compound, like he told many days. She abolished his child's right to life, which is fundamentally right. Yes, this is true. Yes, Naz, you're right, very much right. Because very good point. Yes, see, you now take a comparison of the things. Okay, you're fundamentally right. So now come to the holistic thing. Make judgment in your mind itself. One has killed Y, X has killed Y, no reasons, but he has killed. You are the judge. In poverty, mother has killed the child because the child was suffering a lot with hunger. In another case, someone was chasing to kill you, hurt you, or something like those kind of things. To save your life, you have killed. In another case, like one fellow, like always, like for years, he was like, "You are throwing, so please don't throw the garbage." Don't. Somehow he was daily throwing. Think you put yourself in this situation. Someone throwing some dust, something like that, in your room daily, or making noise always. You are reading for UPSC. You are reading for UPSC. Some person is always making noise daily. You are not able to sleep. For almost for many days you suffered, you quarreled, all these things. But these people somehow they are drinking alcohol, they are making noise, they are not allowing to read for years. You are a very good person. In the fit of hunger, somehow you took some knife, something like that, you pierced, and this fellow died. My question is, can you judge, can you weigh? Killing is one objectively wrong thing in all these things. Can we give equal punishment for all these things, all these people? What is the standard as a judge in determining the ethicality of the things? In this regard, all these things are with respect to the things, these three things. Object, determinants of ethics. Ethics is determined by the following three things in human action. One is object, killing. It's every action has something essential in that, something you are willingly doing with will. See, the previous case, killing is objectively wrong. In the second case, poverty, mother killed her child. Why? Because the intention is good, but killing is wrong. They all should choose middle path to resolve the situation according to Buddha. Okay, good point, middle path. But you are a judge. What are the things you are? What is your judgment? What? Okay, like where is middle path you are providing? See, somebody is coming to kill you. What is your middle path? Somebody is coming to kill you. You don't have any other option. Like middle path. What is the middle path? They are also with weapons. Okay, good thing, good thought. Because like you have come up with one idea, middle path. Because in everywhere, even with respect to virtues, all these things, middle path is the only better thing. Even Aristotle, your Plato, all speak about the things. Okay, here killing the child, the intention is good, but killing is bad. Killing to save your life. This is the circumstance. Killing because your neighbor has irritated that much for years. See, daily you are cleaning. Say, for example, you are a person with almost doing like every day, like you are praying the God, you are a holy person, but somebody is throwing some like the things which your God or which you think are very much against your religion. They are throwing those pieces in your compound. So, in the fit of anger, you have killed. Here, the circumstances forced you. Okay, middle path should be chosen by the killer. Okay, okay. So these are the examples. So why I gave these examples are these are the things which determine whether your action is ethical or not. First is object, second is intention, second is the third is circumstance. Please internalize them. The examples I have given, I think by this time you have internalized these things. You just internalize these three words: object, end you remember, end, intention or anything like that. One thing you remember if it is difficult: object, end and circumstance. For that you remember the examples also. So here object means what the free will chooses to do and not to do in thought, word and deed. Here object means what the free will means you are doing the action freely, you are doing the action willfully. Object means something which you are doing without force, without fear. You are doing voluntarily, willingly. Choose to do or not to do in thought, word, and deed. Not only you are concerned with respect to only actions in your thought, in your word and deed. Is it clear? Like what is object? Just remember what means what the free will, what a person does with free will. So you just make one word for this. Object means that a person does with free will. Free will. Object means what the free will chooses to do or not to do in thought, word, or actions. All these things are supplementary for you. Free will is the thing you internalize that. With free will, the things what we have discussed, free will, you can add voluntarily, you can add with knowledge, all these things also. Human actions things. Every action has an object, which is the nature or essence. So every action what you do, it has an object. It has an object which is its nature or essence. Is this clear? So here, whatever we are doing with a free will, it is the basis and it is called as object. And each action what we do has an object. Because why? We are doing that freely and willingly. And this is the nature or the essence of that. This indicates whether an action is good or bad or indifferent. Example, killing. So here, killing is objectively bad. Killing is objectively bad. Like that, like theft is objectively bad. Honesty, honesty, objectively good. Did you get me? So object means something which you are doing with free will, which tells you whether it is whether the act is good, bad, or indifferent means neutral. It is the essence or nature. You just remember these things. Examples also: killing is bad. End or intention. The end or intention is the purpose or the motive for which the agent acts. So, end or intention refers to the purpose or the motive for which the agent acts. For what you are doing, what is your intention, motive. All intention should be in conformity with the objective truth. In this case, like you can, like I have given when we are discussing deontology, the shopkeeper who is honest, shopkeeper, the shopkeeper is honest. He gives correct change to the child. Correct change to he gives correct change to the child. But his intention was not to be honest. His intention was profit. With the motive of profit, he gave the child correct change. Because if everybody comes to know that this person, say Raghu, the shopkeeper, has cheated the child, the word of mouth will go and all the people in the city will come to know that this fellow is doing fraud, this is cheating, he's deceiving, he's not honest. Then people may stop coming to his shop. So the action is, with respect to honesty, it's correct, but the intention is bad. Can you think of giving any example like this? See, one more example. You beat a person who is not mentally sound with a bad intention. Like some person is there, somehow you hate him, something like that. You are beating that person, but to your surprise, he gained conscious and he became mentally sound. You have made a person who is mentally ill, like a person who is like mentally sound. So, can we consider this as ethical? The other thing which we have discussed, in poverty, a mother killed her child, stating that it is better to kill the child rather than watching him die slow with hunger. Here, killing is bad. Are you getting my point? Here, killing is bad, but the intention is good. Killing is bad, but the intention of killing is good. So that is the thing. They say here, you the thing, euthanasia, mercy killing. Killing is bad, but in case of euthanasia, mercy killing, why you are doing that? You cannot see that person dying daily. Is it clear? So in this case, the intention matters. Let us take the other example. Telling the truth is a good act. Yes, definitely. Telling truth is a, like objectively, this is good. Telling truth, like killing is objectively bad. Like telling truth is objectively good. But telling the truth when silent would suffice. You're telling the truth. Why? You're telling the truth to destroy another person's good name or character. Why this? Your good act of telling truth makes it morally a, it puts those things in the morally in a different stand. Are you getting me? So to destroy another person's good name or characters makes the good act of telling the truth a morally bad act because the speaker's purpose or intentions are bad. Are you getting by the point? First, what is the first point? First point is object. What is the object? What the free will, what a person does with free will. It is the essence of a action. It is the essence of a action. It tells whether it is good, bad, or indifferent. Next is intention. Intention or end or the purpose with which you are doing. Third is circumstance. Here circumstance, somehow all of you can answer this, but the thing what you have to like remember is circumstances are those things which are not part of the action in fact. So circumstance are those things are the conditions of the acts in time and place that by themselves not the part of the nature of the action. So very important point, you internalize that circumstance means they are the things, the conditions of the acts in time and place, at what condition, at what time which has happened, that by themselves not the part of the nature of a act. What is the nature of the act? Nature of the act is object. So these are not the part of your object. Circumstances are not the part of your object. Say for example, killing. When rowdies come and they are chasing and they are about to kill, so this is a circumstance. It is killing in no way related to the circumstance. Circumstances are the conditions of acts in time and path that by themselves not part of the nature of action. These circumstances cannot make an objectively evil action to be good. Very important point. These circumstances cannot make an objectively evil action to be good. Killing is killing. Circumstances cannot make killing a very good thing, but they can increase or decrease both the moral culpability and the degree of goodness of or evil of an act. This is the thing which you have to stress on. Very important thing in circumstance, two things you have to internalize. One is not the part of the nature of the action per se, and also circumstances cannot make an objectively evil action to be good. The other way around, it cannot make an objectively good thing bad, but they can increase or decrease both the moral culpability and the degree of goodness or evil in the act. See, take the example of killing. Killing is bad, but you have killed to save your life. You are killed in the fit of anger, like you cannot resist that one. Is my point clear? So circumstances won't make killing a morally good act. You stealing something, they won't, circumstance won't make that good. Maybe the reasons may be genuine. You have stolen the things to save someone's life. Robin Hood has looted the rich to help the poor. This doesn't make them objectively good or bad. Are you getting me? But what they do is they increase or decrease both the moral culpability or the degree of goodness or evilness in that act. Murder is objectively wrong, but if it is done by anyone to save his life or her chastity, the intensity is less. Is it clear? So, one is, what are the three things? One is object. First one, object. What you have to remember for that? Free will. Something we are doing with free will. So this is the object, is the essence of your action. It says whether it is good, bad, or indifferent. Example, killing, robbery, theft, honesty. They're objective things. Then intention or end, the purpose behind your action. Then you have got circumstance. Circumstance, two important things. They are not the part of the object, and they can decrease or increase the culpability, but they cannot make good into bad and bad into good. This is a thing taken by the judges also. See, I told you, like, you are the judge. So person who has killed, so that is the reason they say it was a cold blooded murder. So life imprisonment. Second one, like, the mother has killed the child, mother killing the child. So the intention is good, but killing is wrong. So for that, say for example, like 5 years imprisonment. Like don't like judge the things, simply hypothetical things. Like why I'm saying is like how the things are determining the ethicality, like when you are a judge, how they take the things. Third, like when the people have come to kill you, or they have like you have killed to save your chastity, maybe like 3 or 4 years. See, here you have killed, the reasons maybe that circumstance has forced you, but killing is killing. In that case, the case I gave, I think a person like who is a very good person, like he could not control his anger because that person was daily throwing some things which he was like very irritated. One day he took and he killed. So generally, the punishment for cold-blooded murder will be like imprisonment, all these things. That was not given to him. Are you getting me? Any doubt with respect to these things? Next important thing is, for any action to be morally good, all the three determinants must be good. Means object should be good, your end or intention should be good, and in all the cases, the things, circumstances, in all the cases, it should be good. The absence of any of them will, at least in the qualifying way, make the morality of an act to be bad. Okay, like now let me ask you, like let me take a new sheet. Hmm. So my dear students, please tell me, other than these things, other than these things, according to you, what are the determinants of ethics? What things determine whether an action or action is ethical or not in human action? So, determinants of ethics in human action. So, please tell me. See, as I told you, there is no unanimity and there is no literature for what constitutes ethics and human interface. Nobody knows what exactly is the thing. Essence of ethics, it is your interpretation. No literature, nothing has given a concrete thing which I have not come across. They are like situational things. Determinants of ethics. This I have told because this is the most commonly followed. Like if you go through like 100 civil service books, in 99 books they have given the same thing. But you have to come up with logic. What are the determinants of ethics in human action? You have gone through the things. What are the determinants of ethics in human action? According to consequentialists, what are the determinants of human like ethics in human actions? According to deontology, what constitutes ethics? According to libertarians, what constitutes ethics? According to virtuous ethics, what constitutes ethics? You can write this also, my dear students. Is it clear? So, for consequentialists, ethics is contingent on the consequences. See, this is a like a variant of the thing. Intention, end or intention, circumstance, all these are the variants of these things itself. Deontology, doing your duty is ethical. What is your duty? Your duty is to follow categorical imperative. What is categorical imperative? A law which is absolute and which has to be followed in a given circumstance. What are the two criteria to call something as categorical imperative? One is it should be universal, and another is at the same time, and they're almost same time and also means the same. They should be universal and they should treat people as ends. According to libertarians, what is the ethics? According to libertarian, like fundamental right to liberty is a thing. Archer to virtuous things, it is the virtuous characters present in an individual. These are also determinants of ethics. Is it clear? So, in another way, like we'll discuss in our next class, anything done with ignorance, anything done with fear, anything done when you are like in a pathogenic state. So the four things: knowledge, knowledge, voluntarily done, and also freely done. Opposite to all these things will also affect. So there are many dimensions of these things. So determinants of ethics, we cannot say only this. This is one of the literature, one of the thing given in most of the book and also most circulated. That is the reason I told. But I have given the dimensions also. In fact, if you consider the deontology, the consequentialism, libertarianism, virtuous things, contract theory, according to them, those are the things which determine whether the action is ethical or not. This circumstance, end or intention, they're part of those things. Next, the thing is with respect to culture also. See here, one of the most important thing in many of the books and also in many teachers, the culture we have discussed this one. Vema, are they culture specific or universal? Yes, there are some things which are specific to culture, and there are some things which are universal. Why there are some things which are universal? Because there are some things which are common to the whole humanity. They bind humanity as a one thing. Whether you are a African, whether you are a person who is in Southeast, whether you are in Antarctica, or whether you are Himalayan, we as a humans have some things. So some principles are common to all, some values are common to all, some ethical standards are common to all. But in some areas, culturally, they are different. In some things, in some areas, in some cultures, previously, if an elderly person, like if he is aged, it was a responsibility and it was thought to be ethical for the child, for his son or someone to kill that person. It was cultural according to them. So, cultural is another important thing. And my dear students, you cannot say like ethics like will be changing from person to person. Person to person, no. At the maximum, you can use culture or society, not anything below this thing. Is this clear? Any doubt with respect to those things? If you have any doubt, please let me know. So, determinants of ethics in human actions, in that you have to incorporate and you have to think logically with respect to other dimensions which we have thought, which we have discussed. Any doubt, my dear students? So, any if you have got any doubt, please let me know. Naz, I will answer your thing with respect to like political values, ethical values, moral values in my next chapter where I will be dealing in depth. In fact, I thought of dealing with those things in the human value chapter itself. Since it was getting very long, I have put that in next chapter. I'll be discussing the in that. Any doubt with respect to these things? See, this is the thing. This should be the thing which should motivate you to get service. And as I always say, my dear students, here, very important thing, point. In this today, I want to tell one thing. See, Lakshya Singh and Rajkumar, many others, you are writing in 2022, you told. But your preparation should be in such a way that You should be able to write every exam in 2021. You have to answer, if not in the examination all. I'll give a structure for that also. Like I have already told you, one foremost thing, my dear students, this is the thing. This is the thing which is determining the fate of most of the students in prelims. Like not like GS3, economy, environment, these things. Here itself your agriculture, all these things comes. History students are reading, geography somehow everybody is reading the same thing, governance, all these things. They are not asking much. They are asking about polity. Somehow you are doing good in that. Oh, very good. 2024, very good, very good, very good. But even then, you have to follow that. Follow these things. You follow this, like very good. Like you told me, like very good. Like I never thought like you are doing like this, like almost a very good methodological way. 24 you are writing good. Okay, let me come to this point. See, for you also, don't go behind history, geography, all these things. Somehow you will do that. Materials are very crispy. Somehow he read some NCRT, some those things. History is over, geography is over. Lead Lakshmikant, all these things. Polity is over. Most of the students, they are just failing in economics, environment. Are you getting me? So you have to master that. What is the way out? The January 31st, you are getting economic survey. So it is little difficult. If you can master that, economy is there in your hand. Budget. You should not miss budget at any cost. Even NAS for you also. Budget you should not miss. And for you, NAS, especially don't go behind current affairs now itself. See, there are many things for you to cover. You master them. Afterwards, go. If there is anything with respect to current affairs you have to do, budget, economic survey, and India yearbook. Since you are writing in 2024, I don't suggest and recommend economic survey for you, but budget and India yearbook you have to internalize. This is a thing for Ram Kumar, Lakshya Singh, for all of you, and those people who are writing in 2021 who have failed. My dear students, you have failed because of economy, environment, these things. Please master them. For that, the only Brahmastra is your budget, economic survey, and India yearbook. Why I'm saying is that if you have failed already, please don't miss these two things. These things. You start from now itself. India yearbook, many things are like almost the same. At least by February 1, you have to start. Okay. Having said that, I completed economy. What did you read? Lakshya Singh, you completed economy. Let me know. What did you read? You watched, I think, all the videos. If you have not watched Sir's videos, he has explained the things in very good. What did you read for economy, Lakshya Singh? You completed economy. Very glad. Okay. Wishing you all that you get first rank, and I hope, wish, and I will be happy if I put my students' score sheet like this and explain some things for you. This is the reason why I keep the first ranker score sheet in front of you. Having said that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the things. And whenever you encounter anything with an academy, use my promo code Buddha10. Having said that, Ramesh Singh, you have read. Very good. Samo Singh. Sir, NCRT is enough for UPSC. Like I have told you, NCRT is enough for UPSC. My dear student, one thing I will tell you. See, I have got like my profile, all you have read, it will be there. NCRT as a basic, If you master them, if you master them, if you master them, if you master NCRT, along with that, as I told, budget, economic survey, and India yearbook, almost the core things are done with you. Core things are done. What you have to do is some current affairs things, some extra additional things. My dear students, I have come across people who have got surveys with only these things: NCRT, budget, economic survey, India yearbook. Only these things, some addition. See, this, according to me, this is 90%. Other things, say daily news analysis, all these things, for this you just add one editorial, that you have to read, and also you have to write, not watching others editorial. If you do these things, I feel it is enough for you. NCRT and optional also. Yes, by this I am concluding my session today. Happy reading, enjoy your preparation. Let's